Technology and you're the analytical sort, you realize that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs that were based in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, all the swing states that Donald Trump needed to win and did win. And what we did to those jobs is still ongoing. Where Amazon alone is closing 30% of America's stores and malls and paying zero in taxes while doing it. How many of y'all work for Amazon? It's okay. Yeah. I will say, Amazon is one of the top employers of people who donate to my campaign. Because you all know what you're doing. I mean, heck, Jeff just walks around. Jeff walks around being like, you know your job is to make your own job obsolete. And everyone's like, we know, Jeff, we know. Closing 30% of the stores and malls around the country and being a retail clerk is the most common job in this nation. The average retail clerk's a 39-year-old woman making between $9 and $10 an hour. So when her store closes, what is her next move going to be? And I say very plainly, there are going to be many wondrous new jobs that get created in the months to come, but they're going to tend to be for different people in different places with different skills and in smaller numbers than the retail clerks and the fast food workers and the truck drivers and the warehouse shelvers. It's going to be different jobs for different people in different places. Here we are in Seattle. This city is frankly one of the biggest beneficiaries of these trends because this is one of the technology capitals, one of the knowledge hubs. This is going to be a place, and you all have seen it. You've seen the city transform over the last number of years and decades, where what started out as sort of a grungy port town. Remember this? No, some of you don't remember this. And then you've had this sort of Blade Runner technology overlay, like over the 90s city. And there are times, I'm sure, while you're going to work, where you think this is utopia, and then there are other times you think this is dystopia. You know, because that is the nature of what's going on in our economy. It's one of the most extreme winner-take-all economies in the history of the world at this point. And the rest of the country is feeling it in different ways, but for whatever reason, our political system is not responding. Our media industrial complex is not digging in and trying to figure out the facts. We're going through the greatest economic transformation in our country's history, what experts are calling the fourth industrial revolution. When's the last time you heard a politician even say the words fourth industrial revolution? You! Just now, Seattle! And I'm barely a politician. So having a clear sense of the problems and a clear vision of what the solutions can and should be is how someone goes from completely anonymous to fifth in the polls to be president of the United States. And this message, thanks to people like you, I will tell you exactly where your money is going to get spent. It's going to be given to a TV station in Iowa or New Hampshire. And then we're going to be taking this message to them. And I have to say, the appetite for this message is very, very high. The Iowans, the people in New Hampshire, they see what's going on around them. If you're into politics, I get the sense some of you are really into politics. Raise your hand if you're really into politics. Somewhat unusual in the Yang Gang, you should know. But the people who didn't raise their hands, like, totally normal. But Iowa's a traditionally purple state, as swingy as it gets. And Donald Trump won it by 8 points. So the folks in Iowa are looking around saying, what the heck is going on? So the appetite for this message is very, very high because this is a much clearer and more real explanation of what's going on in Iowa than anything else anyone's talking about. They lost 40,000 manufacturing jobs in Iowa alone. I've been to the towns that have gotten blasted away from the factory and the plant closing, and they've never recovered. When the plant closes, the shopping district closes, people start moving away, and blue goes to red in an awful hurry. That's how you go from purple to Trump winning by 8 points. What I say to the folks in Iowa is that you saw it happen on your farms and then your factories, now it's going to your main streets, and eventually it will hit your highways. And that's what people like highways, and I say, yeah, self-driving trucks. It's going to be devastating to the 3.5 million Americans who drive trucks for a living and the 7 million Americans who work in truck stops, motels, and diners that rely upon the truckers getting out having a meal. I love hanging out with you all because you are what I call the moral elite, frankly. Folks here in Seattle who are going to be on the cutting edge of this technological wave, but you're looking out for an interest bigger than your own. You're saying, this is my country, I see what is happening too, and I want to do something about it. That is what drove me into the campaign as well. I looked up and said, our country does not understand what is happening. We are scapegoating immigrants for things that immigrants have nothing to do with. And we have to get the attention focused on the real problems of this era, the real challenges. Some of you are wearing math hats. What does math stand for?
Make America think harder.
Make America think harder, that's right. That is your job, Seattle. With your money, we're going to help America think harder. And then focus on the real problems and help provide a new way forward that we can all be excited about. In 2016, Donald Trump became our president. He said he was going to make America great again. What did Hillary Clinton say in response? America's already great. Remember that in Seattle? It's been a long 3 years. We have to acknowledge the depth and severity and reality of the problems that many Americans are experiencing. The fact is, even as corporate profits are at record highs and GDP are at record highs, also at record highs in this country, anxiety, stress, depression, financial insecurity, even suicides and drug overdoses. It has gotten so bad that America's life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years in a row. Do you know when the last time that happened in America? The Spanish flu of 1918. That's right, a global pandemic that killed millions. We are back in Spanish flu territory because of drug overdoses and suicides. This is one reason why when Hillary said, America's already great, millions of Americans heard that and said, wait, like is it? They looked around and said, I'm not sure if that's true. Like, I see the people in my community struggling, I see the store closing, I see my own children suffering. If you were born in this country in the 1940s, there was a 93% chance that you're going to be better off than your parents. If you're born in the 1990s, you're down to a 50-50 shot. And if you're born after that, guess which way the curve's going? Below 50%. So when Donald Trump said he was going to make America great again, Hillary Clinton said it's already great. That did not ring true to many Americans. What we have to do is we have to acknowledge the problems and then say we need new solutions. What were Donald Trump's solutions? We're going to build a wall. We're going to turn the clock back. We're going to bring the old jobs back. Seattle, you know better than just about anyone else in the country, we need to do the opposite of these things. We need to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society to rise to the challenges of the 21st century. And we need to evolve in the way we think about ourselves and our work and our value as people. And I'm the ideal candidate for this job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. Thank you very much, Seattle. We are going to fight, commit, sacrifice, and we are going to make history together in 2020. Are you with me? I know it. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot of great things on tap. Thank you all so much. I love you all.